Hi all, welcome to the garden. Today I'm at my parents' place. We're in the very corner of the yard. This is the chicken's coop. I really get to come out and see the carob because it's just all the way here in the corner. I'm protected from the chickens as well. This is the carob. It's first time putting on some serious flowers. I think it's attempted to in the previous years, but it hasn't actually matured. The flowers never, I think, opened up, or I might have missed them in other years. But it's got plenty of natural pest control with the spider setups all here. But yeah, it's got some mature flowers. It first starts off a bit like a purple color like these down here, and then it seems to mature up and open up like this. Beautiful, amazing. Yeah, hopefully I can taste carob for the first time this year. Haven't actually had it before. I've heard all about it from family overseas. They grow it in Lebanon, massive pods. This is the Clifford. I think it's got smaller pods, but yeah, it'd be nice to have a prolific carob here in Sydney. I've got it currently predicted from the chickens because they actually ate every single leaf off it before. They even made quite an effort to get in there just to get it. I guess they did everything green, anything that they can really reach. So I've protected it. Once it's tall enough, I'll open it up. They can scratch in there and naturally fertilize the soil for me. And they can eat the bottom leaves. It'll be fine at that time. But at the moment, they can easily eat the whole thing, eat the head, and stop it from growing. So it's been in the ground for a few years now, but it hasn't had the chance to grow because they kept just eating the whole thing down, eating the head. Now finally it's got a nice head, healthy, can take off. So it's got about, I think, 10 or 20 flowers on it that I can count. So hopefully I can try it this year. Although I'm not expecting too much, only because it's just very young. So the trunk is still quite thin, not that large, not that big yet. The thing that gave me the idea to grow it was I think it was a very dry drought season in maybe 2019, was it? Or was it 2018? I think 2019. And I watched a Daly's video about that, them being drought tolerant. Then I looked up, the flavors of it, how sweet it was, and things like that. And I know they used to grow it back overseas, so the elders here can also relate to it. When I grow all my rare fruits, the elders, they're sort of hesitant or they're not that interested to try the new things. But hopefully this will, it's something of their interest, something that they, from their childhood, from overseas. So they can join in on the fun. We can have some carob together, fresh off the tree. And hopefully once it's large enough, we can actually make some drinks from it one day. Yeah, this is the chicken's coop. Just a big mess in here. This is the a mandarin. A lot of the trees didn't do too well this year for some reason. They something damaged them or affected them, made them very unhappy. Don't know if it was all the rain in the ground and it being too wet and root rot. I'm not sure what's the cause. Multiple factors probably. But this is the red delicious apple that's completely died off. We just left it here for shade for the chickens when it used to hit 40s in the summer. We haven't had that issue this year. But this is its attempt to come back, I think. So I might have to cut that off if it doesn't make anything and let these take off for the shade. And one day they'll get some carob shade protection under here. There'll be plenty of shade once it takes up and takes over this corner, which is more than welcome to. This is a fig, Preston prolific, not so prolific anymore. It died as well. Again, this year didn't wake up in spring just like the apple, just like a few other trees that I've had. This is a freebie lemon, that Eureka. One of our relatives did an air layer on their own tree. Took about a good 2-3 years at least till it finally got to this size. Now it's taken off. It's actually on a good, it's at its good age now, where it's actually taken off. It's producing a few flowers, and it's put on some growth. It's got some issues I've got to sort out. But yeah, it took a while to establish the roots. We had to protect it from the chickens, but it's been okay. They haven't beat it up too badly. Yeah, keep away from the carob. She's beautiful, isn't she? Here and her friends. And there under the fig. This is the weeping mulberry. It actually hasn't made much this year, but I think it's going to surprise us. I have a feeling it's just going to take off and rain mulberries. That's what it usually does in the spring. This year it didn't actually it didn't produce heaps of mulberries like it usually does. But I'm thinking it's holding off on the energy. It wasn't ready, and at some point sooner or later, I'm hoping it'll probably take off. I have a feeling with mulberries, I've noticed they sort of like store the energy when it sort of misses its crop, compared to other trees where if they miss a crop, that's it. With the mulberry, I feel like if it didn't crop it as it usually does, then when it finally does, it really gives. This is one I brought, I think, for about $5. Bunnings clearance 10 years ago. They had many. I only brought one, but yeah, it's that keeps it really nicely cut and purdy. Really top heavy, as you can see. This is the mulberry cutting that I took from one of our relatives' neighbours. It's got some fruits on it at the moment. And my poor loquat that died this year. That's all we just cut it today, cut it down. One of my father's friends gave him a gift. One of his voluntary, free loquats that sprouted at his place. They uprooted, they gave it to us. Rather than trying to pull that out and spend all day pulling out a 15-year-old tree, it's gonna break our back. I thought, since it's dying anyway, it hasn't died completely yet, but it is dying. There's still some green in it a little, but it's pretty much dead. Let it just die naturally on its own. At least I can get this squished in the middle here. At least that's in the ground. And then eventually that will just die off and it will decompose, and we can probably just pull it out eventually in the next couple of years. That's if it doesn't die completely. That's if it doesn't come back, I should say. Because who knows, it might surprise us. But yeah, that's the seedling going in. It's really bad timing. They really don't know much probably about the timing with the trees, but they uprooted it completely, bare root, and chopped some roots off as well in the middle of summer. But luckily it's not such an intense summer. We've actually had a lot of rain this year, so it should be all right. It should settle in nicely. It's sort of a shade spot at this time of the day. It's it's actually late in the day. This is the fig that's next to it. I'm gonna have to just cut this section off and let the loquat take over that section there. It's got plenty of space, it can grow that way. Next to the other fig that it's next to. That's the Inga, the ice cream bean. It's had a lot of leaves drop, I can see. A lot of bare sort of branches there. Probably from the sun, because we've had a lot of cloud and rain, and suddenly the beautiful sun's come out, and it's shocked a few of the trees, I think, where it's burnt a lot of the tree tips. But yeah, it's alright. I don't know if it's held onto any pods or if anything got pollinated. It had plenty of flowers on one stage that opened up, but I can't really see any pollination, although something's hard to tell. I think I can spot a couple there. see those. Macadamia right there. Kids having a jumping castle today. This is the new basil cutting. They put in, took off the old basil, put in the new basil. It just gave it a little bit of a dig this morning. Turned the soil a little on the surface, cleared the weeds a little. My baby, my Djibouti carbers, my best friends. Not so much for the elders. They don't like to try new things. Yeah, thanks for coming by. Just thought I'll share my carob flowers today and give you a peek on a few others. Have a good day.